And good morning to all of you. How is everyone doing? I was at the pre-party chatting it up. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Wendy got a ticket this morning. Might have to start us a CLL defense fund. Hello, Mississippi. Nana Banana. Izzy's in the hizzy. Our friend Tiffany's back. She's been soaking up the sun over on the beach. Hello, Glenn. Hey, Bryn. Kaleida Hope. This case with Ruby and Jody just gets worse every day. I'm telling you, these people are damn sick. New lows have been explored in Ruby's defense. It's not going to matter because the judge won't even give them bail. They just have to sit there. I'm still waiting on an explanation about the husband. Did he visit in the last year? Or did he just go away? How did he not know how his own children were being treated? I don't know. I think something more there is going to have to be looked at. What do you guys think? It doesn't make any sense to me because a couple splits the sheets doesn't mean they get to break up with the kids. Unless Ruby kept the kids away from him, that's all I can think of. But I guess that we will get to later. Tiffany said, expose them. Expose them. And here's the thing, people have been trying to expose her for years, and it just kept falling on deaf ears. Or the authorities would show up and they were like, we see happy, healthy kids. Maybe she's a little strict, but we're not seeing anything. Just Me said it could be parental alienation. Exactly. And that is a real thing. I mean, I'm one of those people, I'm telling you, I think parental alienation should be a crime. I understand it's hard to prove because, you've always got one saying he's a deadbeat and the other one saying, look, she's a bitch. And it's just a bunch of he said, she said. I got a new pep in my step today, though. It's only going to be a high of 77. Whoop, whoop. All right, let's get some comments from a community post I put up the other day and the last show. Then we're going to get to the show. Two Boston Moms says, I can't wait to see what unfolds with this. I might have to take a ride down south to the courthouse. I'm about 4 hours north of where these two monsters are being held. I'm all about that. Two Boston moms on the scene, telling us what's going on. iHuman said, I see life coming. They'll have plenty of time to think about the abuse that the children endured, and hell burns even hotter for anyone who hurts a child. And that's a fact, Jack. They can't defend themselves. They look to mom, dad, whatever adult is in their life for protection, food, water, education. And well, on all fronts, Ruby failed her children. Aggie said they will turn on each other. I couldn't agree more, Aggie. She said, you watch. Jody will blame, saying that she had nothing to do with how Ruby was disciplining her children or starving them. I see it coming. Misty Dew said, I hear that Satan's mistress, aka Jody, has the best defense attorney in Utah. Don't think that defense attorney is going to sit back and let her take any of the blame for this. Paying a lot of money for this. All right. What keeps being brought up left and right, cannot be ignored, is the fact that police had been called many times over the years to go check on the children's welfare. And they did. but they weren't seeing what was reported. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that is how it's being reported. Look at this with me.
Digging deeper into Ruby Frankie's past interactions with police and some of the podcasts she and her business partner have already produced.
And Daniel Woodruff joining us live in Utah County with that part of the story tonight. Daniel?
Yeah, the 8 Passengers YouTube channel has been removed, but podcasts featuring both Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt are still online. We listened to them today, some of them, and found episode after episode featuring advice about parenting and children.
You're the mother and she is the child. This is not a relationship where you trust her. That's not your job as a mother.
Okay. A lot of the stuff that they said was a little alarming, a little jarring, but a lot of people agreed with it. Kids lie to their parents. We get it. I lied to mine. My kids lied to me. OJ lies to me all the time. I'm like, did you knock all this stuff over, OJ? And he looks at me like, no, you must have done it.
In fact, your job as a mother is to constantly be scrutinizing.
This is where it takes a big turn south. Your job as a mother is to constantly be scrutinizing her, to constantly be judging her choices against principles. Got to be kidding me. It's one thing to say, listen, don't believe everything your kids tell you. But it's another thing to say, humiliate them. Punish them for no reason.
Her. To constantly be judging her choices against principles.
That's Ruby Frankie speaking on a podcast late last year for Connections, a life coaching platform founded by her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt. Both women are now charged with aggravated child abuse. Frankie became famous on the YouTube channel 8 Passengers. 2 News has been looking into past interactions she had with police. Records show law enforcement received more than a dozen calls to 2 homes over several years, but Springville police told 2 News incident reports were not created for a majority of them. Some of those calls Ruby Frankie made herself, reporting she was being harassed. But in September 2022, her oldest daughter called police, worried about her siblings, who she said had been left at home alone for days. Police responded and said they saw the kids through the windows, but they wouldn't answer the door. They also said neighbors outside expressed concern about the children and that they would contact the Utah Division of Child and Family Services. Now, I did reach out today to one of those neighbors who was named chiefly in that complaint from last September, but I have not heard back from her yet. I also reached out today to DCFS, but haven't heard anything from them either.
Well, you're not going to hear anything from Department of Human Services or Department of Children's Services, whatever they call it in Utah. Probably not going to hear from the neighbor either, because I have a feeling that the neighbors are going to be called to testify that this was going on way before Jody entered the picture. They're definitely going to get ahead of that 8 ball. And it is sick. I cannot believe that the oldest daughter said, listen, they have been left alone. It just can't. Well, on one hand, you think it can't get any worse. Then you get to this. Ruby is shifting the blame. Now, the children didn't starve themselves. The children did not duct tape themselves. The children didn't ask to be left at Jody's and not be at their own home. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting Jody and Ruby to start blaming each other. That's what I assumed was going to happen. This is a whole new low. Nucky said, I've hated this woman for years. Get ready, because this is sick.
This is so much fun. New shocking accusations coming from Ruby Franke herself, the disgraced YouTuber mom now charged with multiple counts of child abuse. The Utah mother of 6 now alleges one of her children sexually assaulted one of their siblings and neighbors for years.
Eve has been amazingly well behaved for being in town.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What a disgusting, nasty thing to say. Angel said, what? Yeah.
But you yelled at me.
Shh. The fact that I yell at my kids is a secret. We don't want our viewers to know.
The bombshell revelation came last Thursday, according to the Daily Mail. Reports say the 41-year-old mother appeared virtually in Provo, Utah court, where she claimed one of her children started having problems at age 3 when they began looking at pornography. While Franke didn't mention the child by name, she alleged her child sexually assaulted one of their younger siblings, which led to that child sexually assaulting other kids. Franke said this all came to light.
You're telling me she watches and scrutinizes their every move, but a 3-year-old was watching porn? No.
Back in May, when the child came clean, saying they'd abused 20 people, all friends, neighbors, and cousins. Daily Mail reports that during this hearing, the attorney representing a parent of one of the alleged victims asked to be heard, but that judge denied the request. The judge did, however, rule that the child would need to be, quote, placed in a home with no other children. All of this just days after Franke and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested when Franke's 12-year-old son broke free from Hildebrandt's home by climbing out a window.
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
The boy ran to a neighbor's house asking for help. The neighbor called 911 and reported the boy looked emaciated with duct tape around his wrists and ankles.
We know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
The boy and another child were taken to the hospital. In all, 4 children were taken to the Department of Child and Family Services.
Does have duct tape around each ankle. He's not telling the RP why, and said that there's sores around his wrists and ankles. The RP is becoming emotional.
Franke rose to fame previously as the face of the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, documenting the lives of her family, including her husband Kevin and 6 children. The now deactivated account was once known for giving its 2 million subscribers a look inside the life of the Franke family.
You got to decide, do I want school lunch? Do I want to bring lunch from home? If I do want to bring lunch from home, I want you to pick out things that you're going to eat that are healthy.
I want to bring the lunch from home, but like 2 weeks in, there's nothing to pack for lunch.
That's because what you guys do is you pick out fun things and then you abuse it and you eat it instead of coming home and eating a snack, or instead of eating breakfast, you guys are eating the snacks when you're not supposed to. And so it sucks for everyone.
Even before her arrest, Franke was the subject of child abuse claims after she posted multiple controversial videos, like one video about withholding food from her daughter, or a different video where she forced her son to sleep on a beanbag for 8 months.
What you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room. And my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
Together, Franke and Hildebrandt also created content, giving families across the country counseling and advice about parenthood.
Anytime you think I want, fill in the blank, I don't care what it is, that is not love. Love is a gift that you offer because you have generated it inside yourself. And how do you generate love? Well, the only way to generate love is you use your agency to choose principles of truth.
After their arrests, Frankie and Hildebrandt were both charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. If convicted, that means they could spend up to 15 years in prison per charge. At a hearing on Friday, a Utah judge ruled both Frankie and Hildebrandt continue to be held without bail at the Washington County Jail. Right now, they're both due back in court on September 21st.
No bail. And I agree 100% with many of you. Don't feed them. Don't feed them in jail. This life coach stuff pisses me off to no end. Hell, there's YouTubers out there that have warrants out for their arrest, but are life coaches. You've got to be kidding me. Anyone can be a life coach. If anybody wants life advice, call me up and I'll put OJ on the phone. OJ can be a life coach. Nucky said they sent one of the kids to wilderness camp that's known to physically abuse kids. Well, the hits just keep on coming because Jody's niece is speaking out. And it's damn mean what she has had to say.
Either saw, spoke to, or in a way heard from Jody. Has it been a long time?
It's been a long time. I think it was a family member's wedding, like probably over a decade ago.
You were also under her care at one point, right?
Yeah, I was left in her care when I was a teenager for a little under a year.
Have you met Ruby before?
No, I've never met Ruby. This is the first time I've ever even heard of her. I have gone and watched at least some of her videos. They're very difficult to watch just for my own experience with that form of therapy. It's quite triggering, to be honest. So I've never met her. But the thing.
Do you think maybe old fugly Jody was jealous of the niece? Even jealous of Ruby. You have to admit, Ruby is a much more attractive woman than Jody.
Things that she is saying and regurgitating are very, very familiar to me. It's interesting to watch I understand this, but it's interesting to watch the world respond to her and kind of putting her at the forefront. And I understand that she's the mother of these children, and it makes sense. But the philosophies and the therapeutic modalities that she's using are Jody's. And these are not new. These are not, this is a pattern that Jody has been engaged with for at least 14 years. I don't know if there are other people that she's used these on, but she's definitely taught. I know that she teaches parents to use these types of therapies, as she would call them. So yeah, it's been a really interesting experience watching everyone focus on Ruby, and I understand why, but this is Jody. These are Jody's words. These are Jody's ideas. These are.
Okay, let's talk about that. And I did put the link up if anybody wants to come up and chat. This seems to be a common opinion that Ruby was A-okay until she hooked up with Jody. But when 8 Passengers was going on before Ruby shut it down, I don't believe that Jody was in the picture. So Ruby was already a bad mother. She was already abusing the children. Jinbug said no, she was doing these things before.
Over decades old. So, yeah.
Is that why you've called Jody the mastermind behind all of this?
Yes. that doesn't excuse Ruby's involvement and her perpetuating these beliefs and these systems. But Ruby didn't come up with this. Ruby obviously supports it and has used these on her children. But this is coming from Jody.
In short, can you describe what you mean? Like, which practices are you talking about, just to make sure we're clear, because I know there's a lot out there. So which ones are you talking about that you've seen, that you're hearing about pertaining to her children, that you're familiar with too?
Sure, yeah. So the things that I experienced while living with Jody, I experienced being tied, I experienced being duct taped, I experienced being blindfolded, I experienced severe isolation, I experienced severe emotional, spiritual, and psychological abuse. I experienced the being told I shouldn't be around other people, being told that I was dangerous to be around. People were afraid of me to the point where I was afraid of myself. I was physically, I was forced to sleep outside in the snow. I was, like I said, isolated for up to 12 hours a day.
Damn. Okay. I can see this part of it, that the duct tape, the isolation, the alienation was brought on by Jody, because in the 8 Passengers YouTube, there wasn't anything like that going on. But we do know that Ruby was constantly ridiculing the kids, punishment for no reason, excessive punishments. You know, a child lost his whole room for playing a prank on his brother. I mean, come on. Come on. But I do think that the torture part of it, saying it loosely because it's YouTube, was brought on by Jody. Good morning, Unseen. What do you think?
Hey, good morning. Well, I think this is terrible, right? I don't know how it went on for so long. It seems like people would have known.
Well, they did. That's the stunning part of it.
People outside of the family?
Yeah, we've heard about neighbors, people that watched the program that were calling the police and calling CPS saying, you need to do something. And they'd show up and they're like, we just see a bunch of Mormon kids. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I stand corrected. I wonder what drives someone. I wonder what her childhood experiences were to bring her to this place as an adult, to have, what does she have, 6 children, and and for what? To abuse them, apparently. And that just makes me wonder what her story is.
And I agree with TCB, I believe, that said it, that Ruby allowed Jody to, well, I don't want to say punish, abuse the children in that way.
Well, I was shocked. I saw earlier in the show here where she said that, you know, she was starving her kids because they didn't do their chores before breakfast. And I got to say, I never heard of that before.
Hell no.
Chores before breakfast.
Yeah. And I'd love to know
very
what
sad.
the chores were.
Hey.
Nucky said, I
don't know.
called CPS and police. Misty Deuce.
And the neighbors said they saw the children in the windows. I mean,
yeah, and the police saw the children in the windows, but they said the kids wouldn't come to the door. So it makes you wonder what the hell was going on that they didn't get a warrant. You don't even need a warrant to do a well check visit on children. And if they won't
not at all.
The door, why? I mean, they could have gotten a warrant and they could have gone in themselves.
Well, I don't know how much their fame had to do with it. I don't even know if you know, people in the general public, I wonder if people in the general public even know if someone is quote unquote YouTube famous, right? I don't know.
Well,
I never heard of her.
These
I mean, I never
family
heard of her until
shows,
this.
these family shows, vloggers, or whatever you want to call them, there's
Yeah.
always a dark side, always. And I agree with a few comments I've seen. I believe it was on Law and Crime. People said, in this age of cancel culture, it's getting to where the police, there's a lot of calls they get, they don't take that seriously, particularly if it's from the internet.
Well, you know, I can't say I don't get that because there's so many clowns out there. I mean, a YouTube investigation, you know, to people on the outside, that's laughable. It's a joke, and you have even the just to veer off a little bit, in the news conference yesterday for the escapee, they were saying that you know, online investigators were hampering the investigation to some degree. So stop. Just let the police do their job.
Yeah, and the question is, when it comes to children, nothing should get in the way of them doing their job. Nothing. So when the police went to the door and they had a call from the older sister saying that the kids had been left alone for days on end, I don't know the age of the children when they saw them in the window, you know? I don't know, but I think something should have been done. Then.
So the police showed up and they saw him in the window and they knocked and the children didn't answer and they left. Is that correct?
Pretty much. Yep.
Jesus. What do you think of that?
I think it's damn lazy is what it is. And I think a lot of it has to do with the dad was a professor at BYU. They didn't want to rock that apple cart. They were well known in the community, so they didn't want that backlash on them. I really think that's what it comes down to. Hang on one second. Bunny wants to tell us a story. Hey, Bunny, how are you, my friend?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hi, I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, this is a lot, I'm sure you know it's a lot more common than it really is. Like, I ended up having to leave high school at around, I graduated high school around 15, so I could get away from my parents, because my parents were crazy. But they definitely did things like this where they would cut us off from like the outside world, where we didn't have any friends that weren't vetted, and I didn't have a lot of friends growing up at all because like my parents were really nuts. They wanted to, they were very like hyper controlling, and like they would like track our every move. It was crazy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So this must really strike a nerve with you.
Yeah, actually, I have. I've actually. It sounds horrible, but I've actually been kidnapped before. Technically, I was groomed when I was 14 or 15 by a guy in Indiana, and he ended up finally getting arrested. And but unfortunately, they let him go, which is what they do with a lot of people.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Was that a family member?
No, I met him online, and he was like 24, 25, and he basically had me convinced that he was from a different dimension, actually. And I was a dumb kid, so I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Right. So he used to drive like 6 or so hours to come and see me, and then one day he came through my window and helped me leave, and I feel so bad for. I just feel bad for my little self now. But like, I was just like, I hate this place so much that I was like, all right, that's fine.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. You don't have to be sorry. It's something that empowers me to make sure that I want to take care of others around me.
Well, and some of these churches, and let me tell you what, there's a bad egg in every church. I don't care what the church is. There's a bad egg in every church. The devil loves church, okay? Some of these churches, though, need to let the police do their work. The church is not the police. So when children are being abused, it's not up to the bishop to correct it. It's up to the judge and the jury.
Most definitely. And they never let
Yeah,
it
and
usually.
I couldn't agree with you more there, Brooks. I think too often people think that they can take care of things, and that's not the case.
No, you're not going to pray it away. Look at them right now. Look at Ruby and Jody sitting in the slammer with no bail. Where's the bishop now? They got the
Long
hell out of
gone.
Dodge. They're not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Nope.
Nope. All right, let's go
No.
back to what the niece has to say, because she has a lot to say, and God bless her for speaking out. What
Yeah.
really pisses me off about these cases is when people speak out, even though they tried before, but by the time, Law and Crime, Court TV, and all these people pay attention, it's too late because a child is missing or a child has been horrifically abused.
If someone spoke to me directly, if I wasn't wearing duct tape on my mouth, I had to just stare at them and not respond, because she also had systems of people that would report back to her if I broke any of these rules. And her whole thing, which is darkly ironic, is that everything stems from shame, and how horrible shame is, and that all of the reason, like all of mental illness, all tics, so like OCDs, addiction, everything stems from shame, which is just horrifying, because she is the greatest perpetuator of shame. She also, and this is like a very deep connection, and why I chose to come forward to the media rather than just staying with the podcast. She accused me of being a sex addict. She accused me of being addicted to masturbation, to the point where I wasn't allowed to, I mentioned this on the podcast, to the point where I wasn't allowed to use tampons. I never was allowed privacy unless I was isolated. So that included the bathroom. I was never allowed to have the door closed, because she was convinced that I was just constantly masturbating. She was convinced that I was addicted to porn. I had never seen porn at that point in my life.
And now Ruby is saying that one of her children was abusing siblings, cousins, neighbor children, and started looking at porn at the age of 3. Get real. And it is true, the Mormon Church is very much against masturbation. Very, very much against it.
Yeah, but so say it's me, right? Take away my tampons. Okay. There's other things in the world. What? I don't even get that. I don't even understand. Give me your tampons.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
What 3-year-old is looking at porn? That's the parents' fault. Immediately.
None.
3-year-old can barely get on a computer and do things.
A 3-year-old can't even do anything yet.
Good. Sick asses.
I didn't even know that people with my anatomy could masturbate. Like I had no idea any of this stuff, but I just believed her, because she used religion and God as a mode of control, and a mode to manipulate. And so I just believed all of these things. So her ability to convince you of these neuroticisms and these behaviors is, and I was a teenager. And so a child in that position of being told this over and over and over and over again, which I'm certain he was, stood no chance. She also, because of what the abuse and torturing that was going on, and the belief that she had that I was doing something more. So her rationale to the severity of these punishments and this physical and emotional abuse was, she wanted to make my life, and this is like her quote, like this is what she would tell me all of the time. She wanted to make my life so uncomfortable that it would force the sin out, that it would force me to confess. So things continuously got worse and worse, and progressively more and more intense as a way to get me to confess, because she believed that if I had confessed everything, if all of my sins were out and in the open, that I would be getting better. And I was declining like very fast, exponentially. And so she just kept ramping it up. And so to hear Ruby tell the world that her child is a sex addict, a predator, and has been addicted to porn since he was 3 years old, it just echoes exactly the things that she was telling me and telling everyone around me.
Boom. And I agree with that, because she knows, because she had to deal with Jody one-on-one. So basically everything her aunt accused her of is what Ruby is now accusing one of her children of. Exactly.
West makes a good point that the parents must have had it in the house.
I have a feeling nobody was looking at porn at the age of 3. On one hand, she says it's your job to scrutinize the children, but on the other hand, they're addicted to porn. So she can take an entire bedroom away from her son, but can't take a computer away.
Was that 8 months that he slept on the floor?
Yeah, 7, 8 months. Yeah. Yeah, I get on a beanbag.
Her face when he said that in the video, oh, she just looked so mad. Like, how could you say that? And he just slipped it right on in there. I've been sleeping there for 8 or 9 months or something like that. And I was like, that's insane. And yeah, her face was just like, we don't talk about that. And it's like, well, yeah, but we should.
Let me ask you this, since you guys are on the hot seat. Do you honestly believe, and everybody in chat, that the husband, Ruby's husband, Kevin, there he is on the screen driving the car, being told exactly what to do, knew nothing about what his children were being put through?
He definitely did. Dad's Challenge podcast, he's on YouTube. He actually discusses a lot of child exploitation. And some people don't like him in the community, just, I don't know, personality-wise. But he's made lots and lots of videos about Ruby and their stuff. And he's been in it the whole time. The only time that they split up was just this year, I believe. And now there's something weird going on with her and Jody. So people were like, huh, that's a little strange. I definitely think he's involved, though. I definitely think he knew, at least.
How could he not know? I mean, he was part of the show.
Yeah.
What did he think was going on? I mean, Mormons aren't supposed to get divorced. What did he think was going on when Ruby gave him the highway and a turkey sandwich and started taking selfies with Jody? Stupid ass. Stupid.
And I know that I think I don't know if I got this right, but I'm pretty sure that she's saying that he even confessed to it. Well, I also think these things that I didn't do as a way of trying to get the abuse to stop. Because when she's like drilling it into you both psychologically and physically that there's more, and it will stop once you tell her, because that's what she would tell you. Like in the middle of the abuse, she'd be like, I'll stop as soon as you tell me. As soon as you tell me what's going on, like what you did. Oh, she was also convinced that I had abortions. She was convinced she made me do 12-step because she was convinced I was an addict, like a drug addict as well. I'd never done drugs. I'd never had sex. Again, I didn't know that masturbation was even possible. I had no idea what these things were. So I just started making things up as a way, as like trying to get this to stop, because I had no one there to help me and to save me. And I think I even said that on the podcast that I was making things up. And when I spoke to the detective down in St. George days ago, I told her that as well. It's like and so even if he had confessed, it cannot be taken seriously, because this child was being tortured. And I'm certain that she echoed those words of like, if you tell me, I will stop. So what is happening, it just echoes so close to home of what she did to me. And the repercussions, the emotional and physical repercussions of those actions, like the fact that she can Because the thing that's so sinister about this is that it can't be disproven. So even if like she goes to prison, you know, his name is cleared, it will never be fully cleared because it cannot be disproven. So this is going to potentially follow him for the rest of his life. So even with those children being taken out of her care, she is still abusing them. And so with whatever is happening, whatever did happen, I can guarantee you it's not what she's saying.
Her business, Connections Classroom, is this the same approach she uses for all of her patients as well that are not family or not Ruby's kids, as far as you know?
I don't know the intricacies of what she promotes and what she teaches on Connections Classroom. If it's anything even close, then I mean, I'm certain that there's going to be parallels. I know that she believes that all shame should be punished.
Does anyone know, and I guess it doesn't really matter, I'm just curious, why the niece went to live with Jody in the first place? My understanding is she was being raised by her grandfather. And he was an English teacher, her English teacher also. Does anybody know why she was sent to live with Jody? Just me said she was sent by her parents. See, I don't know what the hell is going on with pass the kids around. You know, just like Ruby's kids wind up with Jody.
You know, she said something there just a moment ago. She said that Ruby thought shame should be punished. And that's a fundamental flaw in thinking and the way you approach children.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree? I mean,
100%.
You don't want to, first of all, you don't want to create shame, A. B, you surely don't want to punish it.
But some people really do think that way. It's weird. It's a weird way of thinking. My parents thought the same way too, and it's incredibly hard to wrap your brain around it when you're like, you just want to be on top. That's really what it is once they just want the control. That's why even now in jail, she can't control these kids anymore. So she's going to control the narrative on how everybody else perceives them, which is really, really messed up.
Well, and they use shame as a form of punishment as well, and a form of grooming. I mean, basically, I mean, we're listening to the niece right here. She was making stories up. She was being convinced of things that she wasn't even doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they call that?
Gaslighting.
That's
I have another word for it, but you two.
No, what's your word?
And
I bet it would be a better word.
I know that, like that. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I really don't know. I've stayed away as much as possible from her and her world, to just heal and to try to salvage any life that I could possibly live post living with her.
With that said, it sounds like this wasn't really a secret, though. Obviously, you knew about these teachings. Other people in her family, probably both families I've been hearing, knew about some of these practices or had heard of. Why do you think it took to 2023 for a child to escape, go to a neighbor's house, call 911, and now this is a thing? Like, why did it take this long?
I think it's a combination of quite a few things. One, the church supports her. She's been promoted by the church, and people trust the church. Members trust their bishops, they trust their stake presidents, and a lot of these people, most people that are going to therapy, if not all, are in a vulnerable position. And she is remarkably convincing. She is also terrifying if you cross her.
Secrets as well. Jody was not only counseling people on the outside, she was counseling people on the inside of the church. When someone seeks counsel with someone, they're probably telling them things in their own life, things that are going on, thoughts, and so on and so forth. She had a lot of secrets over a lot of people. Don't think that some of those police officers and CPS workers don't attend the same damn church.
You know, I don't like to disparage religion, anybody's religion,
No,
no matter
not at
what
all.
it
And
is.
I'm not doing that. No.
No, but I'm going to right now. They they are very well connected in that area, and there's no doubt about it. But there's a lot of protection going on. There's a persecution complex. They want to do things that are against the law. For example, having multiple wives, you know, their own little justice system. Sorry, Mormons. No offense to any individual, but that's an organization that's right behind Scientology, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and every religion has their extremists. Okay, they do. And
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I'll speak from experience. My aunt is Mormon. She married my uncle back in the 70s. They've been together forever and a day. You know, had a brood of children and have a ton of grandkids. Hell, I can't keep up with who I'm related to on that side anymore. And this right here would not be cool with her at all. Like when all the Lori Vallow stuff was going on, which, by the way, I said it in the last show, and I'll say it again. Ruby was one step away from seeing zombies.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, no offense to individuals, because most likely they were raised in the church, and you know, when you're growing up in something, and older people, adults, are telling you, you know, this is what it is, and that's what you believe, and so, you know, I don't ever fault the individual. I fault the organization, because the people at the top know what they're doing. They know it's wrong. They know it's manipulative, and how do you address that? You just turn your cheek? I don't think so.
It's what a lot of people do, but it's hard
I know.
because it's really an unorganized thing sometimes, but then you can see how organized it is at the same time, and you're like, this is a lot deeper and a lot scarier than just like your everyday norm, not, you know, typical religion in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, and we see it. It was brought up by Dolores, brought up by Unseen. We see it with what's unfolding with Scientology. They have their own little. I'm going to just go ahead and say cult of people that they forgive illegal behavior.
Well, take Leah Remini.
It checks all the boxes for a
Kings
cult.
and
I mean,
Queens.
there's a way to evaluate that. It's definitely a cult.
100%. 100%. I mean, we're seeing it unfold all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see a lot more with cases like this. These family vloggers, the minute that I see that they have a ton of kids, I instantly go, shit, here we go again.
Yeah.
This isn't the Brady Bunch, my friends.
Yeah, because you can't effectively raise 3, 4, 5, 6 kids and have some kind of thing going on like this, like a TV show almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think you should focus on your children. You have a very limited amount of time with your children as children, and even in childhood, there's different phases of childhood that are fleeting. So, you know, don't parade them out on the internet for people. Love them for yourself. Let them do their own internet thing. You do your internet thing.
100%. I mean, I have seen a few comments, not in this community, but Court TV, Law and Crime, a few news articles, and they're like, what's going on in Utah? Now, look, it's not a Utah problem. Utah is a gorgeous state, gorgeous people.
Yeah, it is.
This is a community problem. This is Jody, Ruby, and their damn nastiness.
Yeah. Agree.
Because she has and will systematically destroy your life. She destroys your reputation. She destroys any of your credibility. So even because there are definitely people that have been speaking out against her. I mean, she lost her license because of someone speaking out in 2012. Like, she's not just, everyone's not just been like, okay, yeah, for sure, fair game, free for all. People have been criticizing her. That's just that no one has listened. Because one, we have a culture of people not believing children and not trusting children. And also children trust their parents, and then the parents trust the church. So there's been, and Jody, what she does that's so tricky is that she utilizes and uses whatever is available. So if you go to her with OCD, if you go to her with severe depression, she'll use that information as a way of control. Oh, you have OCD because you have deep-rooted shame. And those tics are happening because the shame has nowhere to go. And so it's coming out in this like this neuroticism. And then, or let's say like she'll, oh, you told her that you lied, which is a normal human thing that we've all done. That doesn't make you a liar. Oh, well, you lied. You're a liar. Now everything you say is a lie and you can't be trusted. And she also separates people. She keeps people so they can't talk and corroborate. Like it is so vile and tricky and ingenious. Like Jody is she is a very unwell person.
Unwell, she's manipulative, she knows how to divide and conquer. She knows how to alienate people to where they can only trust her, is what I'm seeing. And when she loses her license in 2012, what does she do? Changes the title on the door to life coach. Just imagine. Imagine. So she loses her license, yet people are still going to trust her to coach their lives. Get real. By the way, Big T is making it rain. Thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships.
I don't know her exact diagnoses, but I know that she's been diagnosed with a plethora of things. And yeah, so it's devastating because I went forward as well. I mean, I went to the police when I was 16. I tried to do what I could and no one believed me because why would they? She destroyed my credibility. I was an angry teenager and now I'm just you're just like an emotional, angry teenager and she had told people that I destroyed my family's life, that I destroyed my dad's life, that every person I come in contact, I destroy. So she sets up the premise. And then when I come forward and try to tell people like, this is what's happening, she can be like, oh, see, Jesse's trying to destroy my life is what they do. It just all adds up. So she's so good at protecting those loopholes and discrediting people.
Is that why you think maybe other members of both families still won't speak out publicly about this right now and are staying quiet? Or do you think it's a fear thing or just want to stay out of it? Is there any thought process on that?
I can't speak to why people aren't. I know the culture of my family. I think that it's probably probably a number of things. Some people, I think it's just that they themselves have been harmed so much by her and they want to stay. They just want to live their life and not be dragged into this. Other members, it could be fear. I can't say. All I can say, and again, the only reason why I'm coming forward, I was not planning on coming forward to the media other than just doing the podcast interview, is when I heard that Ruby accused her child of this, because and I just hope that this can give the public some context and some clarity of what is happening and why they should not believe her.
So 6 charges of aggravated child abuse. That's what's on the table. I'm sure you're not a legal expert. I'm not either, but I've talked to a number of attorneys just kind of about this case, more about the hype of the case, because it's obviously gotten a ton of attention because of Ruby's profile, right? Because of the high profile aspect of the YouTube channel. And that's why I think it's interesting we're talking about Jody, because Ruby's got, as you mentioned, is getting the spotlight in a weird way. And Jody, as you mentioned, is behind a lot of the tactics. Do you feel like 6 felony charges, I mean, in your mind, is that enough punishment for what is alleged against them?
I mean, I don't think that it's the full scope. I mean, including my own child abuse that I experienced. I mean, I want justice and I want fair justice. So I want everything that she has done, that both of them have done.
I wonder, with her speaking with the police, speaking with detectives, if there can be more charges on Jody for how she treated her niece, Jessie.
Possible. Certainly is. You know, because that's how it goes, right? The police get something on someone and they start an investigation. They talk to other people and new charges come about. It sounds like she treated this young lady pretty bad, but I do want to say that when I listen to her speak, I hear her speak the language of healing, and so I'm glad that she's getting help, and I hope that all of the other children are able to get, therapy and work their way through it so that they can, live their best lives. This kind of thing, you just don't shake it off.
No. And I'm picking that up from her as well. I'm glad that you
Right.
said she's speaking
Yeah.
the language of healing.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how any wound of a child's can be totally healed without the legal process.
Right. And it's never completely healed, right? It's you get over it and you learn to cope and you get understanding, but it sticks with you for life, like I don't know, whatever it does, stick with you for life.
I mean, I wish that Jessie could file a civil suit against her. She's got all kinds of money for supposedly the best defense attorney in Utah. So she's got some moolah somewhere. I'd sue her for every last dime for what she did. Obviously, there's no taking tampons away from anyone law.
I can't get over that though. Why would you do that? That's not to keep someone from that's just to keep someone from having something when they need it, if you ask me.
Damn sick is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on abuse, so I don't know. I mean, it seems like just the craziest thing I ever heard.
To be held accountable, whether that be 6, 12, 18, however many. I just want to see that she is held accountable for the things that she has done. But I personally believe that is not covering everything that she's done. And I can say that because I know that she's not being held accountable for what she did to me. In the legal system, I mean.
How closely are you following this? Are you looking every day to see if there's something new that's put out? I mean, where is your mindset at with the case, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm not following it every single day. I'm trying to navigate just my own emotional safety in all of this. I'm trying to stay up to date. I have people that have sent me things that feel a little bit more safe in being more aware of what's going on. And so like when something big does come out, like with Ruby's accusations, I had someone sent that to me. And I was sitting in the parking lot of Lowe's and I started having a panic attack because it was just so directly similar. I mean, the exact thing. This is exactly what she does. This is what Jody does. And so now, because she's painted him as this thing, regardless of what comes out, like he's no longer, I mean, I think hopefully the public can see through this and the judge can see through this. But that's the goal, is so that anything that he says is now no longer credible.
What do you think the public will ultimately take away from these two as it pertains to the court proceedings and such?
I mean, I just hope that Jody is not sidelined in this, because she is so connected to what is happening. And yes, Ruby needs to be held accountable because she made those choices. She's just as guilty. But Jody's been doing this for much longer and has patterns and history in this. So I just really, really hope that, yes, Ruby is the focus because of her high profile and because they're her children. But those children were, as far as I'm aware, I hope I got this right, were in Jody's care. Like, this isn't.
Oh.
I just so hope that even though Ruby's the focus, I just hope that Jody is not, that she's not able to slink away.
And that's where it's at. The children were in Jody's care. Ruby's the focus because Ruby's the one that had the 8 passengers YouTube. So people remember that YouTube channel. I never watched it. Okay. I admit I never watched it. I gave up on family shows after the Duggars. I knew those fucks were weird. But anyway,
Like I said, you can't have that many children and raise a family when your primary focus is cameras.
well, particularly, I mean, they knew they were doing it for money.
Money.
Key spill, which, hey, let me tell you what, everyone, I mean, nothing's free in this world. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the more kids, it's the more money that you need. But exploiting these children is not the way to do it. We've seen it time and time again. The Duggars, that Kate plus 8 shit.
Oh yeah.
The Chrisley family. There's a family right now called the Chatwins. I'm going to show one of theirs where it's basically a day in the life, and it's creepy. Okay, it's creepy. T Spill says, love this channel, and she's been on this for a long time, that the neighbors are speaking out, and the situation, I can't imagine it getting any worse, but it is.
Been covering the arrest of Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt from 8 Passengers and Connections, and a lot more information has been coming out. The family is speaking out, neighbors are coming forward about what they saw, and the dad Kevin was even spotted back at the family home. There's a lot to go over, so let's get into it. Let's start off with a statement that the extended family released a few days ago. Now, we already read it and went over the whole thing, but now that some time has passed, a lot of people are looking at this statement and taking issue with how things were worded. Julie, Ellie, and Bonnie all released a joint statement which reads, "For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Franke for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority." A lot of people took issue with the fact that they mentioned jumping back into their regular content. As you guys know, all of Ruby's family and extended family vlog. The sisters vlog, the brother, even the grandparents make content. This is truly a vlogging family, and people feel like, if anything, this should be the biggest wake-up call for them to put the cameras down and let their kids have some privacy back. The comments have been turned off on the post, but people are leaving their comments on other posts writing, "Maybe you should take a break from vlogging. Maybe don't go back to usual content. Take time for your family." I think taking a step back from the family content is probably the best option they have right now. There's so many eyes on this story right now. It's gone mainstream worldwide. These kids need whatever privacy they have left. They don't need to be on vlogs and being documented for everyone to pick apart right now. Another thing I noticed is that a lot of people are actually accusing the extended family of not doing enough in the situation. People think that they should have been speaking out publicly, that they should have been doing more to make sure Ruby's kids were safe, but...
Okay. Now, I have seen people saying, well, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you do more? Why didn't you speak out publicly? Look, speaking out publicly is really not our choice. Because we speak out publicly doesn't mean it's going to be covered by Channel 2 News, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, News Nation. If they don't find it advertiser worthy, they're not going to touch it.
So,
calling the
how
authorities,
can the family members know for 3 years like that and not say anything because of the children, when in fact, if they had said anything, or said something rather, then that would have done something good for the children, right? I don't understand her logic. Is it that really she didn't want to bring down the whole, vlogging empire the family has?
Probably because they have shows of their own and they didn't want to be roped in.
Right.
With
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Bring down that empire. Huh.
Yeah. They've got their own shows.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say it too. Don't worry about it.
But other people have pointed out just how difficult the system is to deal with and have them take you seriously. Ruby was well off. She was a rich Mormon mom. She already had CPS called on her and they cleared them. I'm sure there were obstacles, and that's cleared by Sherry's finally post. Ruby's sister Bonnie actually uploaded her own statement apart from her sister's, but quickly ended up deleting it after getting a lot of backlash. That's now been deleted, and like I said, it's most likely because she's been getting a ton of backlash over their own family content. I really think it's probably in everyone's best interest to just take a step back and reevaluate how they want to do content in the future. The family aren't the only ones speaking out either. Neighbors of Ruby are also speaking out, and they're pretty upset. A lot of these neighbors have come out and said that they had a feeling something wasn't right, but no matter how hard they pushed, nothing was ever done. NBC spoke to the neighbors and wrote, "The two neighbors who spoke on the condition of anonymity, citing concerns for their safety, said that they and others who live near the family had long been worried for the safety of the children, and that neighbors in the community had previously alerted the Utah Division of Child and Family Services. Everyone is just breathing a collective sigh of relief because we thought they were going to be coming out of that house with bags," a male neighbor said. Apparently,
dear God, see, that's what I've been saying. Had that boy not escaped and ran to a neighbor that said, "You're not going anywhere, I'm calling the police right now. Not just going to feed you and cut the duct tape off of you. I'm going to make sure the police get here." And let me tell you what, that 911 call was jarring.
It was heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
And what we have learned from following crime, as long as we've been following it, whether on this channel or through the Facebook groups or, whatever, is that in these situations, a lot of times people do not like to call CPS because they are worried about retaliation. And it is sick. But this little boy saved the whole family, because as much as I understand, Jessie, Jody's niece, wanting more focus on Jody, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But with Ruby, she was so extreme in her ideas. I'm telling you, like the neighbors said, they thought the kids were going to come out in bags. It was turning into a Vallow situation for sure. What do you think, Glenn?
What sticks with me about the Lori Vallow case is when her husband, I think his name was Charles, when he called the police and the police came out and it was night and he was talking to him outside and he was just saying, "I don't know what's going on. She's acting really strange. She's talking about zombies. She says I'm a zombie." And I think it is a slippery slope. And I think once you kind of start that slide, that yes, it's certainly possible, because these people seem to think that they have the power of discernment, right? And that they know and can act on God's behalf or whatever they call it. And so, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Apparently, these neighbors shared footage with NBC of all the police showing up at Ruby's house and completely lining the street. It sounds like Ruby wasn't popular with her neighbors either. One neighbor said that Ruby would often insert herself into other people's business. They recalled one time where Ruby saw a poster in a neighbor's garage of a woman in a pair of shorts, and Ruby decided it was her duty to lecture this person and tell them how inappropriate the
Bitch,
photo
get out
was.
of my yard.
Definitely sounds like something Ruby would do. Other neighbors accused Ruby of withholding food as punishment, which we've seen on her own YouTube channel. They also accused her of leaving her kids alone at home for weeks while she would go away after her and Kevin apparently separated. The neighbors seem to know a lot about Ruby, with one of them stating, "I remember that she took away their Christmas one year."
I remember that she took away their Christmas one year, the male neighbor said, and she would say things like, "They're not repenting correctly."
Hi, see? Oh, I don't even. I can't with this.
They're not repenting correctly.
Well, then what the
correct.
hell was she doing?
I thought I don't know what Mormon repenting is. I don't know really what repenting is other than being sorry. What is it? What is a proper repent? Well,
Mhm.
I don't know.
And why would Ruby be the one to decide? She's not God.
Well, that's what I was saying. Well, I was trying to kind of connect her and Lori Vallow is that they feel like they're godlike figures, right? They have that. They feel like they have that power and are able to see things and know things, and it's crazy. She goes in a neighbor's garage and what? Get out of my yard.
I know. I'd have been like, bitch, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'd have called the police right then.
The male neighbor said, and she would say things like, they're not repenting correctly, which is a Mormon term for they're sinning. Just complete insanity. The male neighbor recalled how Frankie's youngest daughter, Eve, who is about 10 years old, would wander the neighborhood while her mother was away for prolonged periods after she kicked Kevin Frankie out of the house. Eve would look for companions in the community, the neighbor said. The neighbor said it did not seem like she was attending school. She would just knock on your door and say, hi, can your kids play? He recalled. And we're like, well, they're at school. They won't be home for 3 or 4 hours. And she'd be like, I'll wait. He added, she's like this lost child. It's just such a sad situation. It really does seem like as soon as Ruby met Jody and started getting deep into connections, that's when everything changed. Yeah, she was always this really strict religious parent, but this is on a completely different level. This is way beyond what most people would have ever pictured was happening. We're really starting to get a clear picture of what was going on. Ruby gets deep into connections. Ruby and Kevin separate. Ruby pulls the kids out of school to be homeschooled. She cuts them off from their family, and then she removes them from the vlog. It seems like these kids were completely isolated. As for what's going on with the dad, Kevin Frankie, he was actually spotted back at the family home. Daily Mail caught him carrying travel bags and a pillow into the house, and people quickly noticed that it seemed like he was wearing a wedding ring. Whether that's his wedding ring with Ruby or someone else, we don't know.
Well, from what I'm
Her
reading,
sister wife.
yeah, it'd be one of her sisters. Shit, who would know? Who would know? And I still have a huge problem with him. I want to know, how did he, just because they separated, which I would think with the extremeness of their religion would be a big, big no-no.
Right.
Jody's teaching them how to duct tape kids, but not keep their marriage together.
Right.
Izzy, thank you for the super sticker. Izzy said, what is the deal with the 2 women starving kids? Seems like they get off on starving people. That's what I think too. Controlling.
Well, I mean, it's the highest level of control other than taking someone's air away, right?
Right.
What else could you do that's worse? Take their air away, and then, or that. That's it. Starving kids, not letting a child, or not making sure a child is in school. Why do you want to sacrifice? Why have children if you're going to sacrifice them to a life of less because they didn't even go to school? I mean, they start out in a home. Your children, lady, your children. I think someone else is the one that's not repenting properly.
Oh, I would say so.
Yeah.
And Kevin, he's not off the hook with me yet. He's a professor, or used to be. I don't know if he's still a professor at BYU or not. So he knows the importance of education. You want to homeschool your kids, have at it, but make sure you're educating them. You can't educate them when you're leaving them alone days on end.
I have a lot of questions about him too. I do believe they said that it was after he left. I could be wrong, but I think that was the girl was wandering around after he left. But he couldn't have been in that house and not know what was going on, unless he's part of it. In my opinion, I don't know. But
there you go.
I don't see how you can be in a home and not know. Also, Did the producers know? Did cameramen know? What did people see in that house?
Well, they weren't like on TLC or anything. It's basically them and an iPhone.
Oh, I still thought they might have had a team. Okay, my bad.
No, I thought the same thing, but no, it's basically, no, just them.
Gotcha.
They also
Okay.
pictured the family's van with an 8-passenger sticker on it, and then they show a handyman coming over to remove the sticker from the van. I'm actually surprised Ruby didn't have it removed sooner. Prior to her arrest, she hadn't posted on the 8-Passengers YouTube channel for over a year. She deleted all the videos from it, and she was already deep into connections. It just goes to show you how deep Ruby and Kevin once were into family vlogging. They literally had to brand their own family car and drive around like one big advertisement. As for the Connections YouTube channel, Sherry actually got on her Instagram and asked people to report the page and hopefully get it taken down, writing, "Connections and Moms of Truth needs to go. Please report their Instagram accounts and encourage everybody to unfollow them. They do not deserve such a large audience." And that's exactly what happened. The Connections page is gone from YouTube, and they issued a statement to Insider about the termination, writing, "YouTube confirmed to Insider it has removed 2 channels linked to the mom influencer Ruby Frankie after she was arrested Wednesday and charged with. We can confirm we have terminated 2 channels linked to Ruby Frankie in accordance with our creator responsibility guidelines," YouTube spokesperson Nicole Bell wrote in a statement. At first, a lot of people were concerned about the channels being deleted because they saw it as deleting evidence. Sherry asked people to compile a list of any and all videos that were bad for evidence, but that list included direct links to the videos on YouTube. I was concerned about that too, but it sounds like Reddit and other pages have everything downloaded and stored away. So the sooner that harmful information gets taken.
Hopefully they know that if YouTube deletes a channel, they still have the content.
Yeah,
It's
it's still there.
YouTube content. Like this show right now, I have a partnership with YouTube. Even if they shut me down at 3:00 this afternoon, they have all my videos. They have them all.
You mean like they did yesterday?
Unpatriotic ass. I was even singing along with that song.
Where's Brooks?
Oh, it's bound to happen again. It's a love-hate relationship I have with YouTube.
Taken down, the better. As for updates about Ruby and Jody in jail, the affidavit was released, and it looks like they're both facing 6 counts of. They're scheduled to appear in court on September 8th, and from what I heard, it sounds like this judge does not take lightly to cases like this. So we're gonna probably have to wait a bit to find out anything else, but all that matters is that the kids are safe and Ruby and Jody are done for good. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think.
And if I'm reading correctly, you know, sometimes the internet leads us astray. The children are in foster care. They're not with their father. That tells me
And they're not together?
No. Tells me they might be investigating him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame they can't be together, though. I hate that. They need each other. They're all they have, those kids, right?
No, I believe that the children are together. They're just not with their father. They're in foster care.
Oh, I thought they were in separate homes. Okay, good then. Good.
Okay, here's a few blasts from the past because people have been all over Ruby for years and her nastiness. I do think it's very telling that the children are not with their father. They're not with the aunts. So that tells me there could be other people under investigation. Just my guess. I don't know.
Oh, are you? Eve, did you kiss him, or Boston? Did you kiss her?
I kiss you.
Are you kissing Boston? I think Boston went in for that one. I think I'll have to watch you two.
Okay, call me weird, but this is not behavior I would ever encourage between my children and a relative, okay? I wouldn't find it cute. You can't tell me that this is normal. No. And these are little kids. They don't know any better. She's encouraging this behavior, but now she's complaining, saying that her 3-year-old was addicted to porn.
What do you think of that?
Okay, I think that's
I don't think you should go in there. Eve, I don't think you should go in there. Eve, I don't think you should go in there. Sorry. Here, let go of the gas. Let go of the gas.
way too big. Russell, no.
On this pedal.
No, I don't want to do it.
Why not?
You don't want a bike?
I do want a bike, but I want a different bike, Russell.
Well, why? What's wrong with this one?
It's big for me. Well, it's not too big for you, Russell. Yeah, it is. That's very fun. My ground. You're gonna go into it. You're gonna... No, I'm not.
You gotta keep pedaling, Russell.
Well, you don't teach a kid to ride a bike around.
Okay, if you fell down and crashed. Program where he's going.
Oops, sorry. I was yelling at the screen. Sorry.
Jeez.
Why do you teach a kid to ride a bike out in the open area, not around trees?
Not out in traffic.
Yeah.
The kid could have been killed. He's already saying the bike's too big for him.
They wouldn't even listen.
They wouldn't know. You have to keep pedaling. What, you want him to pedal in front of the damn bus coming down the street? So yeah, I have a feeling old Kevin's under investigation.
I'm going to spend the next 8 to 10 weeks living in the
Anasazi Desert.
Yeah, the desert mountains of Arizona. And he'll be out. So you're probably wondering, what did Chad do? Okay, we're not even going to entertain that stuff, but it's an accumulation of things over years, well before we ever started YouTubing or well before we ever got into social media. And it's reached, the idea is with wilderness therapy is if you can survive with these peers in the wilderness with nothing more than the clothes on your back and a couple of field supplies, then there's nothing in this world that you can't tackle.
Wilderness therapy.
Wilderness therapy. Now, they're very much against the military. This is a very strange thing about Ruby and her husband. So they're okay with wilderness therapy, but not a child going into the military. They're
A
like,
child
no,
can die in the wilderness. I mean,
He knew. He was part of these decisions.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't part of the Jody decision. Hell, he could be married to Jody for all we know.
well, I'm going to tell you, absolutely, he is, and here's why I say this: the Mormon religion is a patriarchal hierarchy, right? So the men run everything. The men make the decisions. The men can have multiple wives and all of that stuff. So this isn't a Mormon guy that's letting his wife run the home. It's just not. Think about it.
Then you have my husband who's like, look, I can barely afford one wife.
Yeah.
Don't even think about bringing me another one.
No, it's a control thing. It's not love.
No.
Julie has asked that we not show her face. Do you want to tell us what happened? I think I may have already explained it. Her face looks very sore on one side of her face. It's pretty rough, pretty swollen, very sad. I don't want you to think you can't have a birthday party this week. I don't want our relationship to be an untrusting relationship.
Sunflower still grows sick.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, I don't want to, they don't want to be
Brutal.
They are brutal. They are.
Brutal. Boom. Brutal.
Look at this one. Queen Edits put this out 2 years ago.
So far, I had 6 pancakes.
With the Vomit Festival we got going on, my word. Is there electrolytes?
Chicken broth?
The chicken and noodle soup.
Oh yeah, the kids like this stuff.
Throat hurts. I have really bad coughs and just bad allergies.
I actually kind of like when the family gets sick. Perfect excuse
to shut everything down. Battery says it's dead too.
I seriously can't believe that we are eating this.
Cilantro lime rice.
I layer them up in a casserole, put it in night Russell.
Ew.
Wash your sheets and get them on your bed, okay?
Maybe we should do dinner first.
Did I get that from Bonnie?
We've had this family meeting coming for a while.
If this video never goes up, then you know it didn't go so well.
I'm having some problems with kids and responsibility.
This is it.
Are you sure? We're gonna have a family meeting downstairs. Bring your kitty cat.
Wait a minute, whoa.
Wait! Oh, where did you get these?
It was in the bag of my bike.
Hey.
I'm going to bring all of these.
To the family meeting. Daddy and I want to get this over with because we want to go on a date. Kevin, come here and smooch me.
We have a problem in this house.
Oh, you got a big problem, Kevin. And I couldn't imagine talking to DT Driver going, DT Driver, get over here and smooch me. With the camera rolling. He'd be like, smooch your damn self. Bend in half. I don't give a shit. Turn that off. We have a problem in this house, Kevin says. Oh, okay. I could have told you that.
Or if you do break the rule, what's the punishment?
Do you guys even know?
If I get in trouble, it's mom getting mad. Gave Julie a tongue lashing that will not ever be repeated nor recorded.
Like, that's my concept.
Taking a step and I'm rinsing my dishes.
So somebody needs to unload the dishwasher.
I'm really sick of hearing Jack complain about his school.
Complaining is making everyone miserable around you.
To hold a good attitude hostage.
Electronics is a reward for good behavior.
You have to mop the entry.
When you come home from school, you are deep cleaning the basement.
6 o'clock.
Make it realistic for everyone. No friends the weekend.
Like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
Burrito.
Oh, honey, it's gonna
Morning,
be
guys. We are here in our house
in Florida.
Evie, we're gonna go to Disney World and see all the pretty princesses.
Even I dressed up like a princess today.
Get up, it's time for Disney World.
Stop.
Get up, it's time for Disney World. Get up, it's time for Disney World.
Are you excited to see Disney World? Or are you too big for that?
I know they're all about
People in cars.
And
Yet? Are we there yet? Oh, the blinking light. Set the challenge to try to capture Chad on Duncan.
I really hope I don't drop the camera.
Oh my gosh! Of course.
I'm holding a tripod.
I had a reason.
What was the reason? What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason?
You so excited, Chad.
You go to a restaurant and your girl is tired and she's throwing a tantrum, and Auntie
Comes over and sits with her and calms her down. And it's like,
This is a really good point Tiffany made. Where was their cut of the money? The Gosling kids have spoken out about this. The Duggar kids have spoken out about this. So when they're being raised in front of a camera for clicks and views, ratings, advertisement money, you name it, where's their cut of the money?
I think, unfortunately, it's going to go to lawyers. This is, boy, I hate her. She is awful. Just awful. Hate's a word I don't throw around.
Mm-hmm. Bonafide said the dad is a control freak like her.
Yeah. It's all about punishment. That doesn't. I don't know.
It's sick.
Terrible.
It's one thing if they're using the money to put their kids through college or something like that, but where the hell did the money go? They can't feed the kids, but they're making money off the kids. Sick.
they're robbing behind my eyes.
I'm going to
New Zealand!
The only way I am getting through this packing video is with my Halloween candy. This isn't beautiful, it's not sexy, and
it's a lot of work.
Wait, is it hers?
I'm going to stay with Ruby and Kevin's children for 10 days. Got my clothes laid out. I'm not packing much. I'm going pretty light. Just wrote Chad a little note. I am going to kiss my letter. This is going to be quite an adventure, and I am looking forward to it. Help me out.
And we're gonna try a new one. My very favorite pot.
I've already seen it.
God, they're freaky. So we all have, that one friend, okay, that lets us know when they have to pee, what they're eating, and overshares pictures of their children. And you just want to shake the hell out of them and go, quit putting pictures of your kids online. You don't know all these people. You don't know these people. Then you see families like this that take it to a whole new low. Amy said the Duggars did it too. Yep.
Sudafed.
It's cute. I wonder where she got it from.
Sudafed.
Goodbye. The only one who gets too lazy to find my own shoes just puts on
Husband's oversized shoes.
Are you guys ready? It's gray, your shoes are gray, and I
think the pink is just cute with it.
Does Spider get out? Have let the kids be very pictures are going to be this afternoon.
And tonight I've curled my hair.
I got married and I decided the night before
At about 9:00 p.m.
I was going to fix my hair.
I just didn't think that far ahead.
He'll wear this.
I'll eat too.
Yeah.
You can eat too.
Yay. Oh my.
This one.
Get in.
It is raining really, really, really hard. So
I'm not going out here in pictures.
Some people would reschedule, not me. These are cool in the 80s.
21st century. All that matters is that mom's in a onesie.
Okay, we made it.
I just thought I'd get
Ranger drives.
Runner, she's a track star.
Our family.
I agree again with Tiffany. She said, sue him like Michael from The Blind Side did. Show me the money. I would love to see some civil suits come from these children against Ruby, Kevin, and Jody. They've got money. Sue them civilly. I would love to see that. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, yeah, I agree 100%. I was pondering how that works in a family situation with underage children. Do they do it together with legal representation, like all is one, and somehow someone's representing them like that, or what? But I think they should certainly get something. They're going to need a lot of therapy, a lot of boy, what she did to so many kids here.
Mm-hmm.
And as I watch this is all about her, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it really seems that way to me, anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. She
because I mean, 2 of their children are over the age of 18, and they can. I mean,
yeah.
Trust me, lawyers love to sue people.
Yeah.
I promise there's a Davy Crockett out there in Utah that would have no issue taking up the case and suing.
Yeah. Well, they certainly should. I agree 100% with you on that. They've been wronged, and now they're not going to have that income. Their living situations are going to change dramatically. It's going to be very tough for them. Ugly feet. Who said Amy said she had ugly feet?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we are going to go
rock climbing. Show mom how it's done, Russell. Go.
He's going to try climbing it.
Using just
The yellows. Blue ones and the red ones look really hard. Quite a bit harder.
Yeah, quite a bit harder.
Want to try the red? Going up only on the red? I want to try the red. She's using her whole body.
Push yourself forward. I want to see Sophie do it.
She is one of Kevin's civil engineering students, and she is
rocking us.
If you guys want to know how to wear your children out, take them rock climbing.
This is really fun.
I am going to do the block rock.
When you're almost 40, you do.
This has been so dirty.
But I didn't film. She fell on her arm. We are going to Los Angeles. The only person who travels in our family is Kevin, and so we only
own one bag of luggage.
You scared?
What?
Maybe they will serve food.
Yep, they serve food on the airplane.
Russell! Sounds like our flights are gonna
be delayed.
Sherry's having an argument.
Calling it an amorphous solid.
I can't believe my 8th grader is arguing that it's an amorphous solid. They don't want to pat Sherry down because she's not an adult, so I'm going to take her.
Don't have amorphous solids.
It looks like Ruby liked getting felt up there by TSA. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, I don't know. That was a face, though.
Sick.
Hope that wasn't her woohoo face.
Yeah. I have a feeling that might be her oath. No wonder Kevin didn't have a problem with being separated.
Is that really for us?
What, you cranky because you went to bed at 3 in the morning? We are in a hotel room.
Oh, we're gonna win.
And I am bound and determined
not to be late
to this shoot. Even if I have to show up on set looking like this. We're gonna put on your new t-shirt. Here!
That's so cute!
You sound like you have experience with it.
We're good. We're done.
Okay, we're done.
Alright, you guys stay here.
Nasty, nasty people. Now, there's another family that you might want to keep your eyes on. They're called the Chatwins, okay? And they basically film everything except for conceiving the kids. You might want to keep your eyes on this family. Here's just a small taste of it.
I think I'm going into labor.
That's not funny. Come here, give me daddy hug.
Big Mama's going into labor.
Did her water break?
When the song come on, let me see you get gone. Baby mamas, this your song. Been pregnant for way too long. Now tell the DJ turn it on. Turn it on.
If she a baby mama,
Go ahead.
she gon' do that baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that baby mama. Drop it, drop it, drop it.
This is fucked up.
Down, down, low.
Drop
it down, drop it down, down, low. Baby mama when I step out on the street. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4. Hit the baby mama when I'm stepping through the door. Yeah, I'm pregnant, but I got trying to make some money, buy some huggies from the store. S to the T-A, double R-K, to the E-I-S-H-A. And I don't play, doing my way. Preggo, but I'm still doing moves like Beyonce. Yeah, I said I'm pregnant, get the child support and pay my rent. Pay my rent, your opinion is irrelevant, cause I'm a baby mama. I can do just what I want. I turn up.
If she a baby mama, she gon' do that baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that baby mama. Drop it, drop it,
drop it down, down, low. Drop it down, drop it down, down, low. Drop it down, drop it down, down, low. Do the baby mama when I step out on the floor. Baby bottle, I need a baby bottle. Baby daddy broke, better hope he hit the lotto. Yeah, my belly big, but I'm looking like a model. See me in the club and I'm going full throttle. Twerk right, twerk left. Take a break, cause I'm out of breath. Whew.
If she a baby.
You might want to keep your eyes on them.
My content is all wrong.
I was watching that this weekend, you know, getting prepped for the show. Greg about jumped out of his chair. He goes, "What the hell are you watching? Turn this shit off." Oh my God. This is the one that really got him.
Everything that they say and then see when they catch on, and then when they laugh. It's really cute. Welcome back, Kara.
Thank you.
Kara's just chilling on her bed, our bed. Gemma's at dance, about to go pick her up. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It's a fun day. We have some dance stuff going on. This family is all about dance revolution. Daughters are in dance, all three, and
We've seen you dance. Please don't do it anymore. You're even making white people look bad with your dancing moves, okay? You two are so white, you're ethnic. Stop. Sons of bitches. I'm serious. They got to quit that shit. And I don't know what they're paying for dance lessons, but they need to stop altogether.
feel like we go to dance stuff all day, every day, but we love it.
Because they do. I take them 5 days a week.
They are dancing queens, and they're just so into it, and they're getting so much better. So today's gonna be a dance day, pretty sure.
We are so grateful for all of the amazing brands that we get to work with that sponsor these videos and make it possible for us to make them and bring them to you. And we are so grateful for you for supporting us in this. Today, I'm partnered with Fit Right Fresh Start. So this can be kind of a taboo topic, which is mind-blowing because urinary incontinence affects 2/3 of women in America sometime in their life. So chances are that you or someone
You are seeing
sorry,
this
y'all.
correctly. You are seeing this correctly. Yep.
when you know experience this or will experience this. Me being the age that I am, having babies, a lot of my friends have had babies, and that is like one of the biggest reasons that people experience UI is during pregnancy or postpartum. It can also be from surgery or as we age. I had someone write in telling me that they experienced it from chemo.
or you're too lazy to get out of bed and piss?
Right.
Come on.
Maybe it could be that.
It could be from babies. It could be from UI. Oh my goodness.
Mo, so there's so many different reasons that women experience this, and Fit Right Fresh Start has come up with these little liners that are so discreet and perfect. They are made with Arm & Hammer. They have vitamin E infused, so they are super comfortable, good for your skin, odor control, and they help to keep you dry. So these are good for a lighter leakage, and then they also have these underwear briefs that are so good for postpartum or if you have more of a consistent leakage. So I posted this video working out the other day, and I was jumping on these boxes, and I had so many people write in, they're like, how are you jumping like that? So I know people experience it like working out and jumping, sneezing. We had a friend who, I can't remember if we were pregnant or postpartum, but we went through a haunted house. Every time she got scared and screamed.
Nobody asked her how she holds her pee. Nobody. Not one person on this planet said, how do you hold your pee as you're jumping on boxes?
Oh, scared the piss out of me. No, really.
Yeah. Well, you know what to get. Arm & Hammer. Pads. And she keeps getting knocked up, so obviously the liners are a turn on to her husband. Oh my goodness.
She would pee her pants. So by the time we went through the haunted house, she like had fully peed her pants. And it was like funny and easy to laugh off at the time, but no one truly wants to experience that. So that is where Fit Right Fresh Start comes in, and they have options for everyone. Women need to be empowered, and this is something that we can't fully control. So it's so nice to have an option to help us and like make going out easier for us. So they're designed by women for women. This is the light pad. So like I said, this is perfect for just like a small leakage. They're super discreet. You won't notice them like at all. I use these postpartum all the time. At first, when I'm a little heavier, I use the briefs, and then I slow down to these. They're just so nice. And right now they're having a deal on Amazon, which it's kind of crazy to get a code for Amazon. They're having 20% off of their products, and you can use the code 20FreshStart and the link that's in our description. That will take you to their page, and you'll be able to get the 20% off for yourself. There's almost 80 million of us in the US that will experience UI. So let's stay dry, ladies, and check out the link in our description.
Following in Gemma's footsteps, and today is the recital of Reese and Ren. They're doing some Flintstone dance, and Gemma Marie Chatwin also today, except hers is tonight, and we don't know if we're gonna make it because she was throwing up all last night. Poor girl. Grandma Bonnie even.
We'll get her some pads. And old girl's sitting on the bed with boots, so she doesn't need a pad. If she's got to piss herself, the pee goes in the boot. Did you happen to catch that trick, Glenn? Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm thinking when she said it was invented by women, for women, wouldn't any woman say, this has already been invented. We have these, right? I mean, and it was really loud. It sounded crinkly like a potato chip bag. And I mean, I can imagine every step. I don't know. I'd rather just.
And trust me, nobody commented after their dance-a-thon and said, how do you hold your pee? Nobody. Not one person. I took the time to go through the comments. She's like, everybody's asking me after the dance-a-thon, how do you hold your pee? And I was like, no.
I'm going to go back to that dance video and see if I hear crackly, crinkling.
Let's do it.
Whatever that is.
Flew in while she's here. Gemma's been sick like the whole time. She's been throwing up, has an upset stomach. We don't know if she's gonna make it to her dance tonight. We told her she was gonna come with us right now to go see Reese and Ren's recital, but she is not feeling good and she's sleeping. So we're gonna have her stay home. We got a babysitter for her. If she doesn't make it tonight, and I don't think she's going to because she's so tired and weak, and I haven't even seen this dance yet. So I'm even sad because she's practiced it many times and Carrie has seen it. I haven't. But we were busting the camera out because these are the memories this is the whole reason why we even started YouTube, I don't know, 5 years ago. But the whole reason why we started was just to document everything, have a video diary. Because growing up, I always kept a journal And now at my age now, in my old age, I don't like writing. So video diaries is the way that I keep a journal of like what we do as a family and we love. Like it's one of our favorite things to do, especially our kids, is they'll sit down here in the living room and they'll say, I want to watch the Chatwins. And they just love seeing them when they were kids and they were babies. And we love sitting here as a family and enjoying these memories that kids growing up and everything is just priceless to us. So the kids are all getting ready. We're getting the girls ready. We're going to head out with Grandma Bonnie. My parents are going to meet us there. It's going to be a fun time. I'm officially a dance dad. Hi, Ash. What do you got? Oh, do you have coins?
Wow. Oh, wait. I think I hear that lady coming.
And you hear the sloshing in her boots?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd keep my eye on this family if I was you guys, because I have a feeling there's some funky shit going on. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean,
Thanks, sweetheart. There's our old tramp. We still have to get rid of it. We got this new one that is spring free, meaning the springs are on the bottom instead of the edges right there. So you can't like fall through and hurt yourself. So we love this tramp. It's a lot safer, except for when you roll your kid's ankle like I did to Ren the other day because I jumped really hard. And yeah, other than that, spring free is the way to go. Okay, you guys ready to go see the girls dance?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Hi.
And this guy, can you say hi?
Hi, Kyle.
Oh, did you just burp? Say excuse me.
Yeah.
Are you excited to go see Reese and Ren dance?
Yeah.
Are you?
He's a cute boy.
Oh my gosh, you're so thirsty. Look at this guy.
Yeah, my mom
Oh,
starves
thanks,
me.
Asher. What, are you excited to go see your sisters?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a cute boy?
Yeah.
Can you count to 10?
No, do that.
No, it's not 1, 2, 10. You skip some numbers.
That's
Count
the
to
quick
10. 1.
1, 2.
Okay, say bye, chat fam.
Then.
See you soon. Show us your muscles. Go.
And the kids are adorable. Don't get me wrong. The kids are adorable. But these parents have got to stop.
I think you're right in saying that this is going to devolve over time.
Oh,
This
yeah,
doesn't look good at all.
I have a feeling between the piss pads and the boots. I have a feeling that we are destined, if you follow that channel at all, to have your feelings hurt because it's not looking good.
I mean, the pads didn't even have wings. Come on.
For real. And everybody
wings.
knows if you're going to have a good
Made
feminine
by women for women.
you have to have a girl in the pool or riding a horse or it doesn't work. Absolutely crazy. 80 said they're next. All right, guys. Well, this has been a great show. Let's have a big round of applause for our friend Unseen and for Bunny, who came up and shared a story with us that she was very brave to share.
Agreed.
Christina said, Glenn is impressing me. Wings.
Yeah, I'm all up on my woman products. That's right. Yeah.
Crafty Chris.
From TV.
Sponsors
I learned it on TV.
And they do. The sponsors need to stop. But guys, I'll be back here in about an hour. We're going to do a show today. We have a special guest coming on about Kyron Horman. It's just not getting any easier trying to get Terry and Dee Dee to talk. And we're going to continue covering this story because I have a feeling a lot more is going to be coming out. What do you think?
Yeah. This is a good one to keep in the background and just monitor. All right?
Sure. Two Boston Moms says, have a great day, everyone. And remember, not all Utahns, is that how you say it? Utahns are batshit crazy. Nope. And we know you're not. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're remind all, because going to be back here in about an hour to talk about Kyron Horman. Thank you, mods. Thank you, members. Thank you, new members. Thank you for the donations to the channel and just for being the best chat and best community on the tube.
Are you going to play?